the Brady card that you both talked about, like who cares? Like who cares? So it's Photoshop. They've been airbrushing and photoshopping cards for over 100 years, for decades and decades. So who cares? But I guess the people that are focusing on that, they need something to talk about, and they need their clicks, and that's a great way to get it. So, right? I mean, it's the biggest card.
The NPR of sports cards.
Everyone, hope everything's going well. I just played a clip of Jeremy Lee from his show, Sports Card Live. While he is entitled to his own opinion, here's the thing. In that live stream, I was a little aggressive with them, and ultimately I pushed him on his PWCC sponsorship and all of that and the shady stuff that went on. And he said that, hey, look, I'm not sponsored. They're a client. That's what he said in the live stream. You could take a look at that the other day that he posted. But regardless, what I find quite interesting, and I'm going to get into the topic in a minute about the Brady card, is that's fine. You have your own opinion. However, if your client is PWCC, and remember who owns PWCC, Fanatics, right? The parent company of PWCC is Fanatics. So are you going to be critically looking at the Brady card? No. And instead you throw shade at people like me and others that are looking into it. And what I saw into it was that it was marketed in a very slimy way. And my own thought process is, I'm not looking at it, okay, specifically from right now. What are they going to do in the future in terms of marketing? It's going to be slimy, in my opinion. And that's why I've stated for a while, I'm not going to be buying new product from them. I'd be buying secondary product, to collect and also potentially resell. And just buy lots. So I'm not interested in it. And until they make changes in the way they market and the people Ruben associates with, I really don't want to be buying new product. People say, oh, you don't buy new product. I buy secondary product. I buy product in the secondary market. And they haven't shown me anything for me to be like, hey, look, I have confidence in you. And I think they're loading the boxes. And they'll say, oh, with their audit, there's no loaded boxes. Well, how are the influencers getting these boxes? It is what it is. But going back to Brady, do you guys think that this was a pump and dump? You have to realize, okay, they hyped it up like crazy. And then shortly after the sale on Golden for close to $158,000, all of a sudden the news is coming out, hey, and they could prove beyond a shadow of a doubt, this thing's photoshopped, where his head was placed on Darren Fletcher's body. And people saying, hey, look, well, Photoshop has happened all the time. Yeah, it's happened all the time, but once again, this is the GOAT. And two, you market it like crazy. For the other cards, they weren't hyped up to that level. Like Ken Griffey card, that was his own body. They just Photoshopped a few things. That wasn't as severe, in my opinion, as this card over here. Because this was pumped to the moon. But I have to ask you, was this a pump and dump? Because it was hyped up like crazy and then all of a sudden it went down. A lot of my subscribers believe that this was a pump and dump on Instagram. I wanted to ask you, was this a pump and dump? And if this isn't a pump and dump, I think this is more of what Josh Luber coined in his paper, Trading Cards Are Cool Again, which you can't go to the website. He doesn't work for Fanatics anymore. But in that paper, he talked about the hype cycle, where you want to, and what he said was, he saw this in sneakers, you want to like market it in a way, be positive, so that the hype continues as long as possible. And then it eventually fades away, and then the demand goes down, and then the prices go down. So regardless of whatever it is, if you think it's a pump and dump, let me know, or you think this is a characteristic of the hype cycle, Let me know down below, because regardless of whatever it is and how you want to define it, this is slimy, and I expect more slimy things to go down by fanatics. And people don't seem to understand the point. If they're doing this now, what are they going to do afterwards? And for the people that have associations with fanatics and starting to point the fingers at people like me, part of the content pushback hobby or whatever you want to call it, or we're the pushback side of the hobby. If you want to push shade at me or throw shade at me, I could easily look at the affiliations you've had with your sponsors. I mean, I asked Jeremy about PWCC. If he's saying that, hey, look, someone like me is doing it for, reasons to get clicks or whatever, fine, that's your opinion. Now, I want to ask you, why are you associated with a brand like PWCC, where in the past they've admitted or they've done all sorts of shady things? And this is definitely true. This is not a conspiracy theory or tinfoil hat stuff. What is your intention behind it? So if you want to throw shade at me, fine. Let's look at you. And Adam Gray did the same thing the other day. I think like last month, he was saying like, wait, well, what's your intention? I could throw that back around. What's your intention? Why are you affiliated with a very shady company? Or at the time. Now they've gotten rid of the bad actors or most of the bad actors. That's great. But, I could look at it that way. Regardless, it's a conflict of interest when these guys start to come after me and they're saying, oh, we shouldn't be looking at fanatics. But in the meantime, the Brady card, if you have an affiliation, let me rephrase this. If you have an affiliation with PWCC in any way, shape, or form, and you're not looking at this in a critical manner, that's a conflict of interest in my eyes. But it is what it is. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you later. See ya. Bye.